Welcome back to episode 3 of Trials Talk Vlog, whatever you want to call it. We're very gladly joined again by Matt. It was just Hugo and myself in the last episode, so Matt's back. He's been flat out building a camper van, which looks pretty mint. I have to say, I shared some photographs on our Facebook page earlier, if you saw them. So we'll just crack on. This time we're going to talk about, we haven't done one for a while, so we're going to be talking about DL12 results. That's ages ago, so we'll not spend too long on that. We've had a couple of French indoors. There's been some changes in the World Trials Championship to the rules. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and then obviously there was the first round of X Trial Championship at the weekend there. So, what do we reckon? And DL12 wasn't really well. I suppose Tony not finishing was probably the biggest surprise of the night. But other than that, everything else was sort of pretty much as predicted, wasn't it?
I'd say, to be fair, yeah, as expected.
From
what I remember, Bo looking a bit out of sorts to me on the night at Sheffield, but I suppose everyone's got to slip up now and again. Looked pretty nasty. The crash, actually, the one that hurt his ankle, looked pretty nasty, I thought.
Yeah, I thought he was lucky to get away with that, actually, because it looked like he could have done a lot more damage.
Yeah.
Could have done a knee or anything there, really.
Someone said they thought it was like one of the stadium lights were really bright. And there was one that sort of, as it panned round, it shone in his eyes just as he was going to take off that rock, apparently. But I thought it just looked like he span.
Yeah, it looked like he sort of threw his weight forward a bit too soon, and it just
snaked around.
Yeah, it didn't sort of get the drive off the rock, and that was it. Game over.
This is human.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's it. It was nice to see him have a few fives, actually, I must admit.
Yeah, well, I think it kind of makes it a bit more competitive, doesn't it? Because when one person's sort of winning all the time, it just gets boring, I think.
Yeah, that happens in every sport, doesn't it? When you get this dominant person, as amazing as they are, sort of secretly everyone's wanting them to slip up to make it a bit closer. But
that's it. I mean, I think if you took Tony out, I think you'd see probably a lot of other riders maybe even raise their game because they'd think, actually, I've maybe got a chance here.
Yeah, you could be right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you see it in like I watch a lot of skiing and World Cup skiing and stuff like that, and you see it where like there was an Austrian guy called Marcel Hirscher, and he was winning slalom and giant slalom competitions, and then he retired, and the number of younger guys that came through just immediately after he retired, the guys who were always pushing Hirscher, kind of didn't step up, but like the next lot of guys down the results, they were the ones that really came forward. It was weird the way it happened, but I kind of think there's probably the same sort of thing would happen in trials. So Jack wanted to make the final. That didn't quite happen for him, but he did all right. To be fair, I thought he rode okay.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, pretty good show.
I think.
Yeah, I think it's a big ask to make the final against that sort of opposition, isn't it? But I think he's right to be setting his bar high. So I thought he did pretty well, to be honest.
Yeah, fair play. All right.
Yeah,
very quiet. You're very quiet, Matt.
I'm just taking it all. Just taking it all in. I feel so behind on everything. I feel like I've not really been. I don't know. I feel like I don't really know what's been going on. I was at the DL Indoor and I thought it was a wicked event. I thought it was ran really well, and like I say, it was nice to obviously see everyone. And it sounds really bad, but it was nice to see, like you say, Tony get beat.
Yeah.
And like I say, it was obviously nice to see Harry Hemo get out there. And although he probably didn't get sort of the result he was sort of after or whatever, like it was nice to see him get in there. Do you know what I mean? And it was just the kid's doing really well. He's progressing, and for me, it was like I much prefer watching the lower level. If that I don't know whether that makes any sense or what. But
yeah, I mean, it's not.
Nice,
I mean, I know.
It's nice to see the young talent like Harry and stuff coming through.
Exactly.
And like obviously nice to see Toby on a new bike and riding well. Obviously he's been on it way longer than what everyone knows about.
Yeah.
But like it was nice to see him back on the Mont making loads of noise and yeah, it was cool.
It seems to suit him just as well as it did a few years ago, doesn't it? Really, by the look of it.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
doesn't seem to
I
have
thought it was
taken.
just a shame that we didn't have Jack on a new Sherco. I think it'd have been nice to see like a UK debut at like the biggest UK event, I guess, if you wanted to call it that, because
Yeah, well,
let's be
he
honest,
did.
big UK events are non-existent nowadays. So
That's
it
it.
would have been nice to see Jack on a new Sherco, but obviously that didn't happen. But yeah, so no, I thought it was good.
Yeah, he did. We did ask him would he be on the new bike, but he hadn't had it for long enough to get sort of used to it to ride it. So
Yeah,
yeah, we'll get him. We'll get him back on. He wanted to do. He wants to do another episode, so we'll get him back on and we'll ask him what he thinks of it. He seems again. I shared another little video on our Facebook page there earlier of him practicing out in Spain, so he seems to be getting the hang of it all. No Kashima forks in it. I noticed that. I thought that was strange.
yeah. I saw Emma's got some in her, hasn't she?
Yeah, but he didn't seem to have them in his. Actually,
I saw just on that related. I saw Jamie commented something. Jamie is Minder saying something about proving to someone like not bad for a standard bike. So it could be, I don't know, maybe he hasn't got his like factory repaired one at the moment or something.
Yeah,
but
maybe
it could be
that's
that it's like the Jack's just on a standard one, which
yeah
seems to be doing pretty well on. To be fair,
yeah.
if it is.
Well, funny, I saw just talking about standard bikes. I saw Toby said that bike that he's on at the minute is completely standard as well, isn't it? He hasn't got the.
I think it was in. Didn't he crash one in Sheffield or something? He jumped on a spare bike.
Right, was that it? Okay.
I think from what I could see, he was on a different bike in some of the pictures I saw. So I presume
that was my understanding of it.
Yeah,
maybe that's what it was. I missed that.
maybe I think
no, going back to the
bike, don't they? But everyone likes to make out that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. A standard mont. Maybe they've come on leaps and bounds since I last rode one, but I wouldn't fancy tackling some of that stuff on a standard one anyway.
No,
not that I'd be tackling it in the first place. But
mega for a club trial, but I don't think they've got the power for that sort of thing as standard, have they?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know for a club trial. They're mega just to go out and mess about and make lots of noise. But I'm not dissing Montes's, but sort of.
I've still got a soft spot for them.
Yeah, no, I do. I mean, I love the note, love the engine note, love all that. Yeah, I wouldn't. There's some bits of in between going in Scotland. I would not want to be on one. That's all I'm going to say. We'll leave.
I think they're a good commuter bike. I don't see the problem.
Yeah, right. The only day I'd want to be on one is road race day, because they are just ridiculous on the road.
But riding a 4-stroke on that day is mint.
Yeah,
I will back that up.
Yeah.
Remember the last time I did it? Fred Adams was by me, like near numbers to me, and every time we'd come like onto the road after a group of sections, he'd just come absolutely tearing past, just like on the start, flying down the road.
So much fun.
Loved it. They are good for that now, I have to say, I have to admit. I kind of lost my train of thought there. I don't know what I was going to say. I was going to say something about Kashima forks. Did you see? Have you watched the latest Trial Tube episode?
No, I don't watch Trial Tube.
No, don't watch it.
No.
Okay. Then we'll leave that.
Which
enough said. I don't mind them actually. I think I kind of they are what they are. I like them.
Yeah,
I didn't agree with him. I didn't agree with his opinion on the Kashima forks. He reckoned they weren't worth the money. He didn't feel any difference. But the first thing I noticed when I got onto the bike was just how plush they are right from the way sometimes you get onto a bike and you push the forks down. There's a bit of a delay and then they sort of go. There's like a slight stiction at the start of the movement. Nothing like that.
You've got to remember now, though, because you're on an old man's bike with a battery where your headlight should be. It's got
that extra half kilo.
Could be that.
That extra half kilo is going to make all the difference, Matt. You know, it's just.
I genuinely think if your fork legs aren't blue, they're not worth having.
Not the rainbow.
That's a fair point.
If they're not rainbows, I'm not interested.
Yeah. I have a mint set sitting in the shed. I always thought they would look good in the front of the TRS.
I have a set on my bike that I bought at TDN and haven't ridden my bike since. So
Right, we're getting a bit off topic, but
In
that
great
doesn't
condition.
really matter. So right, we'll finish with Sheffield then. So there's been a couple of those indoor international cups.
Mm.
One in Toulouse, one in Chambery. In fact, actually two in Chambery, wasn't there? So Toulouse. Oh, Marcelli over the bars off the cable
Oh
rails.
yeah,
Oh,
Oh yeah, that was rough,
that
wasn't it?
was. I had flashbacks. I remember a
I
long
had
time ago
nightmares.
now. Kenichi Kuriyama in Sheffield doing the same thing and broke. That basically finished his career. Broke both his wrists.
Yeah.
Right down off the top of the cable rails. I just thought, no way. Marcelli's done the same thing there, but he was lucky.
It's that one, that feeling where you just like your heart stops, doesn't it?
Yeah, you kind of know
Diving.
it's that horrible one where you know it's going to go, and you
Yeah.
go, what do I do? Do I jump or do I hang on? And he tried to jump, and his feet caught the.
Clipped his
I was going
toes.
to say his feet caught the bars, didn't they?
Yeah.
It just was nasty, nasty. Right, who won there? Tony won that one, so that sort of went pretty much true to form.
Back to normality.
Chambery, there was two there. Busto won one. Who
Busto
won?
won the second one, yeah. But
Won the
I don't know
second
whether
one.
Tony rode the next day, did he?
No, Tony won the first one, didn't he? And then
Yeah.
Busto won the second. And then, of course, it's in France, so there has to be some with a French rider on the podium both nights, just to be doubly sure. Although, to be fair, he did look like he was riding all right.
Mm. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
But yeah, maybe we've said enough about international trials riders having good results in their home countries. We'll be getting blacklisted.
It just doesn't happen to us. It just doesn't happen to us. Anyone else?
No. Yeah, we're probably harder on our own riders when observing in the home trial, aren't we? But
yeah, we don't learn. We don't learn from the Europeans, do we? It's like the same whenever they were in before Brexit. The European countries didn't take any notice of any of the flipping European rules. It was only Britain that did it. But sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, we're digressing again here. But anyway, right. So changing the World Trials Championship rules. So minders are only going to be allowed in half of the sections, allegedly. So that's 6 of the 12. The minder is not allowed to carry any spare parts or anything, tools. He's only allowed to carry drink, water, whatever. And then they're going to introduce this no stop device thing, which tells the riders if they've stopped. I mean, I as a rider,
are they actually doing that?
I'm not at Tony Bowes level, but I still know when I've stopped. I don't know what are they trying to do?
How confirmed are these? Are they sort of in the latest release of the rules, or?
Well, I was looking online. I had a look on the FIM website, and the only thing I could find actually was the technical regulations, not the actual sporting rules or whatever they call them.
It's not too late for them to change all that then, because
I don't know, but I know that they are certainly testing them, and
yeah, I know they are. Yeah, it's been talked. It's been, especially the no stop device thing has been spoke about since like September, October last year. So
yeah. And from what everyone has said about it, it's absolutely useless.
Yeah, it's an absolute load of whatever.
I mean, I don't exactly know how the thing's going to work, but I'm guessing they can sort of set up how long it stays.
They do.
For. So it could be a second and a half, it could be 2 seconds or whatever. So I mean, it won't be long before maybe they're doing it already. The top riders go, okay, so I can pause for a second, and then as long as I just do something like
the last bit of info I've sort of heard on it was that the minimum time they can be set for is 3 seconds, and it's on the rotation of the front wheel.
Right.
So sort of you could be the minimum time you can stop. Well, the maximum time you can stop for would be 3 seconds. So not no stop, is it really?
No.
And if it's on the front wheel, you could have your front wheel in the air and it's spinning. You could be hopping on the back wheel for 30 seconds if you wanted, and the front wheel's turning. And
as long as the front wheel's still rotating.
Just seems ridiculous thing. Like, I bet a few £100 per device. You're probably going to want to have one on a practice bike and one on your race bike. So there's another £1,000 that a rider's going to have to find to do World Championships. And I mean,
Yeah.
All I can see it doing is putting riders off, as the no stop rule's done already. So I think it's about time everybody sort of clubbed together and started to stand up for it a bit, really.
Yeah, it seems like a bit of a backward way of going forwards, if you sort of excuse the pun there. But I just
How long have you been waiting to say that one?
Oh, I thought of that about 6 weeks ago, and I've been trying to get it in there. So
that's why you've been getting frustrated every time we've gone off topic, isn't it?
I know.
I'm scared you were going to forget.
I've had it in my head. I've got to get this line in. I've got to get it in. Yeah. No, I just thought of it there. Just off the top of the head.
Yeah.
Off, Yeah, I mean the obvious way. I think we've said this before, probably in episode 1. The British Championship is, I think, the best championship to watch.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand. I mean, I'm a little disappointed. I can see it from a rider's point of view, but I'm a little disappointed that they've extended the time limit for the sections in the British Championship. I think the 1 minute keeps it fairly slick and keeps it interesting for spectators. But
yeah.
I can see the flip side of that too for the riders, where some of the sections were very long, hard to get through.
From my point of view, even if they extend the time limit, you could just make organisers put another element in the section and it's just as tight. So really, it doesn't. Yeah. I don't see what they've gained or anything with that.
It's kind of the same difference, isn't it? You're just gonna I don't think that, well, are they going to be sort of mandated to keep the sections the same length as they were for the 1 minute, or are they?
I don't know how they'd police it really, but I think it's just going to end up being just as tight as they were before and slightly longer, if anything. So
yeah, I mean,
we'll see. But
I mean, as a rider, if you've got a minute and a half to use, you're going to use it, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're going to, instead of maybe just riding something, you're going to take that little 10-second pause to make sure you're perfect for it.
Yeah,
you're
right. Yeah,
it's not gonna make a huge difference.
Like you said, it's just a better rule, isn't it? At least it's the same for everybody.
Exactly, and not only that, but I mean for the observers,
so much easier.
It takes any ambiguity completely. It just takes that decision away,
and for spectators as well.
Yeah,
know exactly what's going on and where you are with it all, don't you? Then.
Yeah, I mean, as a spectator, you're watching World Championships going, I thought this was no stop.
Yeah, and one thing that just shows it for me is all the national championships are all stop allowed with time limit.
Yeah.
So why is they all want to ride that way, but the World Championship's different.
Yeah, yeah. Apart from the Ulster Championship and the Irish Championship, they're still no stop, and they're just as ridiculous. Yeah, it's and the thing about it is, but you get to know the observers that are going to nail you for stopping and the ones that aren't.
Yeah.
So it makes a bit of a mockery out of it. You've got the same people observing at every trial.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's the same. I'm sure it's the same in England too. But
when you've got the same observers turning up at different trials, and then you get to like section whatever, and you see that observer there, and you think, oh god,
yeah. And they always put the guy who observes tightest on the hardest section for some reason, which is just like fucking hell. But anyway.
I think there's a time and a place for no stop, to be fair, but it's just got the terrain's got to lend itself to it, isn't it? Really.
Exactly. So. I mean, you look at Scotland or the likes of the Scott trial, things like that.
Perfect for that. Perfect.
Yeah. It's as you say, the terrain is made for it. It's why would you even think about riding? I mean, stopping in a river.
Yeah.
The only time I stop in a river is if the chain comes off, or
you're upside down.
Or I end up in the hole that I've been looking at, going, I don't want to end up in there.
Yeah.
Right. So, World Championship. That's a World Champ. Oh, I noticed on the technical regulations, and this is just I don't know why I was reading them, but I read them. So, minimum weight limit was 69 kilos. I think, has that changed, or was it not 67 before?
I thought it was 67, something.
I think Oh, I don't know. When I was doing it was less for 125s and more for trial 2 and trial
Right, maybe
2K.
that's what it was. Maybe I didn't read that right. Okay, so that hasn't changed. The other thing that I thought was strange is that you are not allowed to use titanium for any part of the frame or the
Mm.
front axle, rear axle, or swing arm spindle are not allowed to be,
Ah,
like, none of that is allowed to be titanium. So
because it was always you couldn't. I knew you couldn't have titanium frames, which is why I thought it's funny that Vertigo make a titanium
make a
model.
titanium bike, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, the spindle thing's new because everyone always had titanium spindles and
That's what I
things.
was going to say. I'd love to see Tony's bike.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's pretty much just completely titanium to get the weight down and that thing.
all of the
Magnesium engine casings and God knows what.
I'm not sure, because I know when I was with Adam, he actually runs a heavier front spindle.
Yeah,
But is that not because the TRS was so light as a
No,
standard
well, from
bike
my understanding of it was so that if he hit something really hard on the back wheel, it brought the front down, and he had more inertia to carry him up.
Yeah.
But that was how he described it to me. But
yeah,
whether
I think
don't know.
a couple of them do like that heavier front spindle thing, don't they? I think. From what
Yeah.
I've heard.
he's
But
running,
you've got
running
to be
front
like jumping huge
spindle.
gaps and stuff for that to matter, wouldn't it?
He's
Yeah,
running
for
front
sure. It wouldn't
spindle
matter
of
to
a
me.
300
Wouldn't matter to
Fantic.
me.
Not with them rainbow forks, but
Yeah.
They're quite heavy though, the rainbow forks. Oh well, the Showa ones, the originals out of the Montesa, they're quite heavy compared to tech.
Full blown retros.
They are the answer though. They are nice. They are nice.
They are cool. They
Right.
are cool.
Barcelona indoor then. First round of the 23 X Trial Championship. I don't know. What do you think of that new format?
I thought it was quite.
Matt's just going, there's a new format.
I just want to know. I just want to know who Gratter had a fight with.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when I saw him flip me. I wouldn't like to see the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal looking, wasn't it?
Mm. Yeah. Where did that happen? Or did it happen in practicing?
It was practicing somewhere. Is where that happened. So I don't really know. Flip. I mean, the only time I've ever seen anybody with a face like that was Takumi Narita. Way back in the day, was practicing, but he didn't have a helmet on. So I'm thinking, how the hell did he manage to do all that?
Yeah.
If he had a helmet, he must have been messing about maybe without a helmet or something. I don't know. But
I don't know.
he done a fair job.
Yeah.
Pretty nasty. I thought he'd been caught up in some like he's in like the Italian police academy or something. Yeah, I thought he'd been caught up in some accident or crime or something.
Yeah, that's it. He just found himself caught up in some bad boys drug deal or something, and then next thing you know, he's in a fist fight.
That's
Night
it.
before Barca indoor.
Couldn't get the taser out quick enough.
Yeah.
So the new format, basically, Matt, is
No, they got out there, didn't they? They just pulled a gun out.
just that's not a knife. So the new format is everybody does the first 2 laps, right? So there's 5 sections in the first lap with 5 minutes. There's 5 sections in the second round, but only 4 minutes. And then the combined score, and I think the tie-break decider for who goes through to the final is the lowest second lap score. So that's how it works. I don't know whether I'd have thought time would have been the obvious decider there, but maybe not.
I think time decides. Like in the lap, like lap 1, say if there's 2 of you on 10, then the lowest, quickest time goes ahead of that. I think that's
right. So it was okay. I wasn't just. I think it was possibly a little bit too easy.
Yeah, I think
too easy.
The format seemed like a good idea to me because you've got more. Everybody's got more riding, therefore you've got more chance of the best 3 being in the final.
Yeah,
but the sections were, although they were hard for like your average standard, weren't they? But for them, for them 9, they were too easy. I would say that it just didn't separate them out enough, did it?
No, there
When you
wasn't.
looked at
I don't know.
especially.
It wasn't. It wasn't as usual. So I don't know. Barcelona sort of has a bit of a reputation for having really big, sort of,
Yeah.
yeah, real big sections. But anyway, right, we'll take a little quick break there because our time. We left off at basic format changes for
Oh yeah.
X trial, and yeah, so everybody. I think it's better, obviously better for spectators that everybody rides twice now instead of sort of gradually cutting down the numbers. I think that's probably a better thing, certainly for spectators.
Yeah.
Maybe even better for the riders too. Because if you make a slight mistake on the first round, you can pull it back a bit on the
For
second.
sure. I'd say. I one thing that I thought of watching some of the French ones, I just thought like, imagine traveling all the way to Toulouse from wherever and riding for like 3 minutes.
Yeah, and riding 5 sections.
Yeah.
And that's if you get through them all. That was one complaint actually. Somebody said that they thought the sections at the DL12 were a bit too hard because not all the riders were able to get very far through them, so you didn't really see a lot of riding. You were there, Matt.
Yeah. Expert on the
trained
ground.
I thought it was good.
Must be better.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
No, to be fair, I can sort of stick that. But at the same time, if you got some people that are getting through them, then they're not too hard, are they? And ultimately there was a winner, and there was people that didn't win. So, no, I thought it was good, but I can sort of see that point of view as well. I do understand that, but at the same time, like it put on a show for the crowd, and ultimately that's what it was all about.
Yeah. I mean, sort of going back a bit, it was always good whenever like loads of riders failed a section and then somebody just had an epic ride to clean it.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember Steve Colley doing that in one section in Barca. Like that's way back, late 90s. And nobody had got anywhere near it. And then he comes out and cleaned the thing, and it was just like the place just went. It just erupted. It was unreal, brilliant.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. So we're talking about Barcelona. Well, actually, the fact that we're talking about other trials probably says more about Barcelona than anything.
Had the opposite problem, didn't it? Really, he's like we said, being too
Exactly.
too steady. I felt a bit like so. Toby, I feel like we talk about him a lot, but yeah, Toby had one dab on the second lap on the last section that he did, and it dropped him from like it would have been 5th to 7th or 4th.
Yeah, it cost him
just with
two places.
One dab. Yeah.
Yeah, which is probably, I mean, the punishment didn't really fit the crime there, did it? Because he'd ridden
No, and that's what
really
but
well.
I think it's a bit steady when a dab drops you a few places like that.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, I suppose it's the same for everybody, and the whole point.
Yeah.
There's two sides to every argument, but surprised me. The one thing that surprised me, there was that section 1, that big step in the start.
Yeah.
And Tony struggled on that. And normally he's up stuff like that, no problem.
Yeah.
Surprised me slightly that Busto struggled on it as well. I mean, did he make it? I don't think he made it up at it either.
I think, no, he did it first lap, but couldn't do it after.
Yeah. Marcelli was the only one to get up it every time he got up it. Although he wrecked his leg in the process.
Yeah, I don't know what I saw him just like he got up the step, didn't he, the first lap, and he was just like shaking his leg like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a little bit of wee came out or something. I don't know. Maybe he got that excited.
Twitchy
He's trying
that
to
was
shake
just because of the sound of his bike, mate.
Yeah,
maybe that's what it was.
The popping and banging.
I thought he'd done that. I don't know if you've ever done this, but you know, sometimes you hit something, you bang like just the inside of your knee off the frame.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought maybe he'd done something like that, but I think it was an old injury that he'd maybe aggravated again.
Probably jumping off them cable wheels, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, that could have been from that. Actually, I think the commentator did say he had an injury previously, but yeah. So Tony won, which is sort of fairly predictable. But I mean, did he really win, or did everybody else lose? Because they kind of just like threw it away one after the other.
Yeah, I think Busto seemed like on fire until he got. It's like he fell asleep in the final. I bet it looked like.
What was he doing there? He
Don't
just.
know.
I don't know if I can find a clip of that. I'll put it in. But it was a bizarre 5.
Yeah.
It was yeah, it was pretty random. I think Marcelli or Marseille or however you say that.
That commentator does my. It might be the right way to say it, but he does my head in saying it like
Marseille. I don't know, but it's
he does come out with some rare. So I remember for a while I've got. Do you remember the old DVDs you used to get of like the World Championship 2008 and whatever? And it's like the same commentator. And I can't remember. He used to come out with some. He used to call 5s fiascos.
Fiascos.
That was one. Yeah. That was
fiasco.
Because that's
beta
like,
machine.
Yeah, the beta.
Beta. But that's like a direct. Isn't that not a direct translation from the Spanish? But isn't that what kind of they call it? No, I thought it was, but
maybe.
I don't know. He's actually a really nice guy. Met him at one of the X Trials a few years ago and like spent.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt's gone again. But anyway, the commentator's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Well, if you can come back, Matt, then come back. So, yeah, what was I saying? Marcelli. We'll call him Marcelli just so we don't annoy Matt. I think he psyched himself out a bit with that. The cable reel at the start.
Yeah.
Was it the second or third section?
Pretty round. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'd have been better just to ride it. And if it moves and it costs you a dab, then argue it. But to sort of refuse to ride the section.
I don't know what even happened. I didn't really understand what happened with the score. Did he get a 5 for it, or did they just give him a clean?
I don't know if they just gave him a clean or they just scrapped the section for everybody. I don't know.
I think they just give him because the other 2 cleaned it. I think they just give him a clean, but it's a bit random, isn't it? Really. I might just start doing that.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Dangerous section. Give me a clean.
Yeah, that sounds like a bit of a plan. So we also had the ladies trial.
Yeah.
Which was I don't know. I was actually at the first one where the ladies, they brought them in and they gave I felt they gave them more time then. They seemed to be kind of trying to cut it down a little bit. I didn't really give them. I thought it was a bit of a I don't know.
Yeah, it seemed. I didn't think it was a fair share of the airtime sort of thing.
No, it wasn't. But
I'd like to see more riders involved for them. I suppose it's expensive to get there and do it all, isn't it? That's the trouble. But it'd be nice to see more women involved, like similar numbers to the men, sort of thing. Be nice.
I mean, I don't know. I'm presuming they invite. I'm not sure what basis.
I'm not sure either.
They pick the riders. I don't know. I'm guessing they just invite whoever they think is capable of riding it.
Yeah.
But I would have thought there was probably more riders more capable of some than so. I don't really want to. I don't want to come across like I'm putting it down, but
no, I know what you mean. That's why I'd like to see more there, just to sort of the more that are there, the more.
I think the more spread of talent probably you're going to get, rather than a real sort of imbalance in the level of talent. I mean, Emma was obviously streets ahead.
It's a bit of the same scenario for the men as like Emma is becoming the bow of the women's scene, and she really.
Yeah, and like watching her practice, some of the videos she's putting up there. I mean, she's
She looks on it.
Mega.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Some of the stuff she's doing. Oh, here's Matt. Let's see what he's messaged here. Right, I can't read that message. There's too many swear words in it.
No need for him to be so rude about us, is
it? But yeah, I mean, she seems to have, obviously she's on that new Sherco and everything else, and she seems to have taken to that like a duck to water.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually was hoping that Emma might have been able to join us tonight, but she's obviously decided to ditch us for the pub. Which is, to be fair.
Can you blame her?
Yeah, I don't really blame her. So I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I assumed probably Donna would be minding for Emma again, but I see James was back minding for her there at the X trial.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know that Emma and James have been out there for about a month, haven't they? So maybe it's just because of that. I thought Donna was still minded for Emma.
Yeah, because they seem to get on
quite
well, and there's obviously, I would say it's probably easier to mind for somebody when you're not married to them.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
I think that's probably is Matt trying to get back in? We'll see if it works or not. Yeah, so
it's pretty cool to have like an all Emma and Donna's like an all-female team as well. That's quite good.
Yeah, because Berta's minder, is it Alba? I think her name is. Obviously they're all female team as well, which is that's what we want to see. That's probably the way it should be. And that girl actually rode in Scotland last year.
She did, yeah.
Alba, not sure if she finished or not. Yeah,
Viegas probably, yeah.
Something.
Not Vilgas.
So Matt's trying to get in here, but he's not really. We don't have too much more to talk about anyway. So
be quite cool if Emma would come on to sort of give her thoughts on.
Yeah, I would like to get her on, even just for a wee chat. Maybe get her and Jack on, get their impressions on that new bike and stuff. That would be quite good. Yeah, it'd be good.
We'll have to get some other riders from other brands on as well at some point. Then.
Yeah, we will. Oh, right. I know you're a beta rider, but give me your honest opinion on that new factory.
This is slightly disappointing. It's not got gold wheels, but to be honest, I thought it was pretty nice. I liked it.
Really?
I don't see what. I'm probably going to get slated for it, but I don't really get. There's always the joke about like, oh, what's coming out, new graphics and that sort of thing. But apart from the gas like this latest year, what really has changed that much? Like a TRS has been very similar since it come out. A gas before that was the same since like the Pro in 2002 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I mean, the only thing that really changes from year to year is the color. And there are only so many colors you can.
Yeah, you're going to end up.
Use.
I'm not sure about the red fork bottoms and swinging arm, but it's a little bit of a retro throwback.
Yeah, well, it is that. I mean, I don't know. I thought it just looked like
it was a lot of colors.
There was kind of no real sort of flow. I think there was just like bits of color here and there. I think that's kind of what annoyed me more than anything. I like a design that sort of like flows. I mean, Beta traditionally they've produced some awesome looking bikes.
Yeah,
you go back. I mean, I'm going way back again here, but like the 1990 Beta Zero was awesome looking. The 94, 95 Beta Technos were awesome looking. Even there was one of the Rev 3s wasn't bad looking. It was a 2008. It was like red and white, and it was quite nice.
Yeah, I think that my dad had
actually. Yeah, so I don't really know. And a couple of years ago, the factory bike was really nice looking. The sort of red, white, and blue, but it was more blue.
Yeah.
Was that?
I think
2020?
21 and 22 have been like bang on. I would say. I think.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Like it could do with just tying together a bit, couldn't it?
Yeah,
This latest one, which I think if it had gold wheels, it might have sort of just balanced out a little
yeah, it
bit.
might have helped a bit.
Also, quite interestingly, there's not been actually like official pictures as there yet from beta. It's just like it. I think there was a bit of a release. They did a bit of a party thing in Italy, from what I've heard, and then some dealers put pictures on Facebook, didn't they?
Yeah, because
But
I
it's
think
not
that was
actually
that.
been an official release, so I'm not sure if it's going to be exactly the same as them pictures or not. But
Yeah, maybe they stuck that out to see what the opinion would be, and then
not a bad idea. Put leak some pictures and wait for everyone to say, "Oh, I wish it had this. I wish it had this."
yeah, yeah, and then yeah, maybe that's a smart
Maybe,
idea.
maybe they're being smart.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. The only thing that bugs me slightly about TRS,
Yeah.
I really like the fact that they were yellow, and
Yeah.
progressively since whenever the first RR came out, I think it was 17, they've got
Mm.
less and less yellow.
Yeah.
I mean
They
that
haven't.
like
It's
that
funny.
bike of mine, you have to like really search for any yellow on it.
Yeah. That's one thing. Like the first, the first gold was like had gold casings and a lot of gold wheels and everything, didn't it?
Yeah,
And gradually it's called gold, but there's not a lot of gold on it, and
no,
it was a yellow bike that's not much yellow on anymore.
yeah, I don't
Funny.
really know. And then of course the
Like,
Vertigo, that Busto Vertigo,
yeah,
there's hardly any other than the Vertigo logo. I don't think there's
yeah.
any green on it at
Where's the
all.
green gone? Yeah, I know.
Um,
Like you say, there's only so many designs and colors you can use, isn't there? But
yeah, but it's green is that's their sort of signature color.
yeah, it's their
It seems
identifier.
it seems odd that their flagship model doesn't have,
Yeah,
I don't know. Anyway, right. Um, yeah, I think we've covered pretty much everything we were going to talk about there. So,
yeah,
um, yeah, we'll leave it at that. I think
yeah. We call this.
Matt's unfortunately had a Wi-Fi issue. He just sent a message there to say that he's throwing his iPad out the door. So
Toys.
I hope he's not going to charge me for that.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah,
cool if anyone's got like any topics they want to hear our thoughts on and want us to delve into a bit as
yeah,
well.
absolutely. That's well remembered. Actually, I nearly forgot to say that. If anybody does have anything that they want asked or spoken about or whatever, by all means, drop me a DM, drop Hugo a DM, whatever it is.
Hmm.
We'll try and include it. Don't forget, obviously, to like and subscribe and all that usual stuff. We have an Instagram page at Trials Talk, and the YouTube channel is also at Trials Talk, and we're on Facebook as well. You can look us up on there too. So feel free to drop us a line. Hopefully, all the feedback that I've had, I don't know if you've got any personally, Hugo, but I've had some people messaging me personally, and all the feedback that we're getting so far has been very positive. So thanks to everybody who's taken the time. Like I said, we're just doing these as and when. It's been a month since we did the last one. I was away on holiday. Hugo was doing some university work. Matt has been building a awesome camper van, and Donna's been in the pub. So fingers crossed, she'll maybe be out of the pub for the next one, because it would be really good to hear from her.
Yeah,
It would have been nice to have a female perspective on, just to see what she thought actually of the Barcelona indoor.
yeah.
But we can talk to her about that again. So thanks
She's
to
been in the
everybody.
pub for about she's been in the pub for about 3 weeks now, so she's surely due out soon.
Yeah, she's due out sometime. You gotta, I don't know. Yeah, hopefully. Well, you might not want to. You might not want to hear her when she does come out. So yeah, thanks to everybody who's subscribed to the channel so far. I mean, we're not quite at trial tube levels yet. You never know. We might make it to the dizzy heights of 10,000 subscribers or whatever Danny's got there now. He's doing really well at that. So
Yeah,
fair play. I wasn't dissing him earlier with the Kashima Forks chat. That was just a difference of opinion. I actually think they do make a difference. So there you go. But anyway, thanks to everybody who's watched.
We're all promoting the sport, aren't we? So
yeah, well, that's it. Exactly. There's room for everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, and hopefully it won't be a month or it's actually nearly 5 weeks since the last episode. So hopefully it won't be that long to the next one. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah, see you soon.